I have learned one thing. Nothing in life is truly worthwhile unless you are willing to take risks. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." That quote has always struck me because it is not just about survival, it is about living with real purpose. It is about daring to chase something greater than comfort. Now, I know from your own experiences in school, applying to college, choosing majors, or wondering what to do with your life, you've probably heard the same advice over and over again. Make sure you have something to fall back on. Some loving parent or teacher probably told you, "Honey, make sure you've got a backup plan." But I never understood that idea. What does it mean to fall back? If I'm gonna fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. At least if I fall forward, I'll see exactly what I'm gonna hit. And that philosophy has guided me through every high and low of my career. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Passion matters. Motivation and dreams matter. And yes, risk matters. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There was once an old IQ test made up of 9 dots arranged in a square. The task was to connect all 9 dots with 5 lines drawn without lifting your pencil. The only way to solve it was to go outside of the box. The same rule applies in life. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big. Don't be afraid to dream big. But always remember this: dreams without goals remain just dreams, and eventually dreams will fuel disappointment if they're not anchored by discipline. Reggie Jackson, one of the greatest baseball players in history, struck out more than 2,600 times, the most in Major League Baseball. Yet what do people remember? They remember the home runs. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Nobody talks about those. What they remember is the 1,001st experiment, the one that gave us the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed attempt, every mistake is one step closer to success. That is not just motivational talk, it is a fundamental truth of human history and personal growth. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will make mistakes. You will suck at something, no doubt about it. And I know that is not the usual message for a graduation ceremony, but it is the reality. So, embrace it, because failing is inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. I have failed more auditions than I can remember. Early in my career, I auditioned for a Broadway musical. It seemed like the perfect role for me, except for one tiny detail: I cannot sing. Naturally, I didn't get the part. But here's the lesson: I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of that audition and prepared for the next one, and then the next one, and the next. I prayed, I worked, I failed. Then I failed again and again. But it didn't matter because I kept going. There's an old saying: if you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later, you're gonna get a haircut. And eventually, I got my break. Years later, I performed in a play called Fences on Broadway. Do you want to know where that play was performed? At the very same Court Theater where 30 years earlier, I had completely failed my first Broadway audition. Life comes full circle. So the point is this: every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Because if you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again: if you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you must be willing to do something you never did. Imagine this. Imagine yourself lying on your deathbed. Standing around your bed are ghosts. These ghosts represent your unfulfilled potential, the unused talents, the ideas you never acted upon, the gifts you never shared. They stand there staring at you, angry, disappointed, upset. They say, "We came to you because you could have brought us to life, but now we must go to the grave with you." So I ask you today, how many ghosts will be standing around your bed when your time comes? This is not just about you. The world needs what you have. I just came back from South Africa. It's a beautiful country, but there are places filled with terrible poverty. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama needs your help. Tennessee, Louisiana, Philadelphia, they all need your help. The world is crying out for what you can give: your time, your talent, your kindness, your prayers, your courage. Maybe you have money, maybe you don't. Maybe you have patience, maybe you have long suffering. Maybe you have love. Whatever your gift is, whatever your strength is, the question is, what will you do with what you have? And here's my last point about failure. Sometimes failure is the best way to discover where you're meant to go. Your life will never be a straight path.
Let me tell you my own story. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. One of the courses I had to take was called Cardiac Morphogenesis. I couldn't pronounce it, couldn't read it, and definitely couldn't pass it. So I switched to pre-law. Then I moved to journalism. I had no academic focus, no direction. My grades collapsed. My GPA dropped to 1.8. Eventually, the university politely suggested I take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. On March 27, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop in Mount Vernon. There was an older woman there, one of the respected elders in town. I didn't know her personally, but I noticed she kept staring at me in the mirror. Every time I looked, she was watching me with these strange eyes. Finally, she took the dryer off her head and said something I will never forget. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy. You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." I was shocked. But as the years passed, her prophecy came true. Through my movies, through acting, I have traveled the world. I have spoken to millions of people. People I couldn't see, but who saw me. People I couldn't touch, but who were touched by my work. And now I see you, the next generation. And I am encouraged, I am strengthened, because risk-taking is not just about chasing a career. It is about being open to people and open to ideas. The chances you take, the people you meet, the love you share, the faith you hold, that is what will define you. So never be discouraged, never hold back, give everything you've got. And when you fall throughout life, remember this: fall forward. And before I leave you with that, let me say this. If you want to keep walking the path of inspiration, history, and real-life lessons, come join me on Final Gear. Subscribe, not just to follow a channel, but to be part of a journey where every failure brings you closer to success, and every fall forward leads you to greatness. Fall forward, always.